Renewed hostilities. A 24-hour update on the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. The Israel-Hezbollah conflict has reignited, plunging the region into high alert. A relentless barrage of rockets and airstrikes has shattered the tense calm. Israeli airstrikes on suspected Hezbollah targets prompted retaliatory rocket fire. The situation remains volatile, with both sides exchanging heavy fire. Fears of a wider conflict are mounting. Trading blows, airstrikes, and rocket fire across the border. Israel Defense Forces launched a series of airstrikes targeting what they described as Hezbollah military infrastructure in southern Lebanon. These strikes were a response to Hezbollah's earlier rocket attacks on Israeli military positions, which the IDF claims were unprovoked. The IDF has released footage of what it says are precision strikes on Hezbollah weapons depots and command centers. Hezbollah, in turn, has confirmed firing rockets at Israeli military targets, framing their actions as retaliation for Israeli aggression. The group claims its attacks are a legitimate response to Israel's ongoing occupation of Lebanese territory and its violation of Lebanese sovereignty. Hezbollah's rocket fire has primarily targeted Israeli military installations near the border. However, some rockets have fallen in civilian areas, causing fear and panic among residents. The exchange of fire has forced people on both sides of the border to seek shelter in bomb shelters and safe rooms, a stark reminder of the constant threat of violence in the region. Caught in the crossfire, civilian impact and the looming humanitarian crisis. As the conflict escalates, the human cost continues to rise. Civilians on both sides are bearing the brunt of the violence. Rocket attacks have caused damage to homes and infrastructure in northern Israel. In Lebanon, the situation is equally dire. Israeli airstrikes have impacted civilian areas, causing casualties and damage. Hospitals are struggling to cope with the influx of wounded. Thousands have been displaced, seeking refuge in safer areas. Section 4. Hezbollah's Arsenal. A glimpse into the group's evolving capabilities. Hezbollah, a powerful Shia Islamist political party and militant group based in Lebanon, possesses a formidable military arsenal that has grown significantly in recent years. The group is believed to have an extensive stockpile of rockets, missiles, and other weapons, some of which are capable of reaching deep into Israeli territory. While the exact size and capabilities of Hezbollah's arsenal remain shrouded in secrecy, experts estimate that the group possesses tens of thousands of rockets and missiles, including long-range missiles capable of striking strategic targets within Israel. Hezbollah has also developed a sophisticated drone program, using unmanned aerial vehicles for reconnaissance and potentially for attacks. Hezbollah's military capabilities have been bolstered by its close ties to Iran, which has provided the group with extensive military aid and training. Hezbollah's arsenal poses a significant threat to Israel's security and remains a major point of contention in the region. Section 5. Global stage international condemnation and the call for restraint. The international community has reacted with alarm to the escalating violence between Israel and Hezbollah, issuing strong condemnations and urging both sides to exercise restraint. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the situation, with member states expressing grave concern over the civilian casualties and the risk of a wider conflict. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has condemned Hezbollah's rocket attacks and reaffirmed its support for Israel's right to defend itself. However, the U.S. has also called for de-escalation and urged all parties to avoid actions that could further inflame tensions. European nations have also expressed their concern, urging both sides to show restraint and work towards a ceasefire. The European Union has called for a return to dialogue and a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Russia, which has close ties to both Israel and Hezbollah, has called for an immediate end to the violence and offered to mediate a ceasefire. Section 6. The road ahead. A glimmer of hope or further escalation. As the situation remains highly volatile, it is difficult to predict the trajectory of the conflict. Both Israel and Hezbollah have signaled their determination to continue fighting, raising fears of a prolonged and bloody confrontation. Israel has vowed to continue its airstrikes on Hezbollah targets, while Hezbollah has promised to retaliate for any Israeli aggression. However, amidst the escalating tensions, there have been some glimmers of hope. International mediators, including Egypt and Qatar, have initiated efforts to broker a ceasefire between the warring parties. These efforts, while still in their early stages, offer a glimmer of hope for a de-escalation of the conflict. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether the international community's calls for restraint will be heeded or whether the region will be plunged into a wider and more devastating conflict. As the world watches with bated breath, the fate of the region hangs in the balance.